Walker. This is Dan's Walker Tarot. Oh boy. Oh. Oh wow. Okay. This is a random specific for someone who is taking a step forward on the path to spiritual enlightenment. And for whoever this is, that means cutting ties with a cult or a family or an organized religion that is damaging your spiritual potential, and it's keeping you chained. So an old tradition that maybe you were born into, that, I mean, I feel like it's my chicken scratch for this one. Cults come in all shapes and sizes. What's that? Oh. Hold on, you guys, I'm hecka blonde. Let me think about this. I'll put a timestamp in the comment. Cults come in all shapes and sizes. The end of your connection to organized religion is the beginning of your connection to God. Maybe your understanding or what you're leaving would be considered by society a respected religion, but it has a child's view of spirituality. It teaches the wrong things. It teaches people, it teaches people to worship the devil. You know, the devil, the devil is smarter than all of us. If we want to kind of personify that group of beings into like one, you know, if they had a leader, let's call him Satan, just for funsies. Okay, let's go with that. The greatest trick the devil ever played was tricking people into thinking he was God. You know, or if that's not it, it's, you know, like, the devil doesn't have to be smart enough to trick God. He just has to be smart enough to trick us. And he is, and he does, like, all the time. So, one of those ways is organized religion. You know, like, parents will think that they're protecting their children by taking them to these places, and they're throwing them to the lion's den, is what they're doing. So this is a dangerous situation spiritually. And I think you probably have not aligned yourself with that, maybe for some time. But there's like a finality that needs to happen here with a letting it go. Or if we're not there yet, this is literally a moment that happens this week that breaks the shelf. The shelf of belief. You can know it holds, it doesn't hold. It doesn't make sense. Too many plot holes. That sort of thing. So, you know, it's like a child. That moment in a child's life, maybe when they realize that Santa Claus isn't real, a little bit, you know, like they see their parents, something like that. Like they catch their parents putting out the presents or something and they're like, oh. You know, and the parents are like, no, wait, no, it's because Santa was busy and we had to put it out for him. He brought it, we just had to put it out. But it's like the magic is gone. It's like, well, I didn't hear anything and I've kind of been watching for a while now. You know, something like that. So maybe someone's losing their faith. Maybe it could be that simple, that it's a moment of lost faith. But it's not. It's like maybe you think that if you leave that cult or religion, there goes your connection to God. And that's absolutely the opposite. I grew up in a religious cult. I grew up in a Mormon cult. And they taught us to memorize things like, hold on, let me see. It's still in there, you guys. It's still in there. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and the restoration of the 12 tribes, sorry guys, that Zion, the new Jerusalem, will be built upon the American continent. You know, and I'm like a 4-year-old going, you guys, you're thinking like, you know, I grew up Mormon, and ever since I was a baby, I was like, oh no, no. But it wasn't like I didn't get my name off the roster until I was in my 30s. There was this really beautiful, amazing lawyer who stepped in and said he was going to process our withdrawal papers for us for free, legally. Do I need to say that again? Hashtag not a cult. And I can't convince, you know, my family or my mom that it's a cult and that it's wrong and that they're teaching them incorrect things and that it's the devil. You know, I can't. Because she's a good person. And most Mormons are really fucking good people. They're really kind, compassionate people. And they don't really think, I don't think they really think about, like, does any of that make sense, you guys? Hell no. But then, you know, I'll say something like, oh yeah, we faked the moon landing, like, just down the street, and my mom looks at me like I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean? So this is a situation where, and I'm sorry to curse, but I'm just speaking freely here. I think that's the only way I'm going to get this out. So, theoretically, I was never in it. I was forced to go by my parents, who were raised to be forced to go, you know, by, let's not go there, but they're doing what they thought was best. Okay? They're throwing me into the lion's den. You think that God doesn't still want to take a sacrifice? You think that God doesn't still want the oldest child? You think the God of the Old Testament has changed his mind? Yeah, no, we've just mistaken some of the more famous pharaohs for God because they tricked people into thinking they were God back in the day. And a lot of the stuff that I was raised with, I'm like, oh my God, those aren't even human being stories. We shouldn't even be talking. That is not for us. Like this. Okay, so it's a situation where you knew that it wasn't right, but you were still in it because of family, because of tradition, because of whatever. So this is the moment where you take your name off the roster. Shout out to that lawyer that helped all of us, you know, ex-Mormons get our name off those papers. I don't even want to get into all the creepy stuff that we did that, my parents don't think twice. Like baptism for the dead, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I have always known what I was looking at. But you can't convince them otherwise. You can't convince them otherwise. With all the evidence in their face, they don't want to see it. So this is you deciding to separate yourself completely from whatever that cult is and taking the steps to say, no, you can't count me in your numbers. Because you know what? When it's all said and done, you will dwell with them. You will go dwell with them because you kind of believe it, because you know everything's about belief. It's all what we think. It's all where we dwell in our mind and what we allow to claim us. You're no longer allowing this, could be a community, to claim you. Cults come in all shapes and sizes. Cults could be the NFL. Cults could be Disneyland. Cults can be K-pop, which I have delved into that dark, disgusting, murky hole in the last couple of years. You know, it started off, let me use myself as an example for, you know, when you don't When you don't look at something deeply, you can have a child's view of it, like K-pop. Ooh, it's all fun and sunshine, and we're all getting along, and it's like, happy, cute, poppy. And I'm not even going to get into what it really is at the bottom of it, at the core of it. But it's not apparent. You kind of have to want to know. You kind of have to look, and you have to pay attention when it gets dark and disturbing. So I don't have a child's view of K-pop anymore, and I don't support it, and I can't support it. Like, I will always support those artists, like, in my heart, you know, and with my energy, as far as, you know, wishing for the best and hoping that they can get out of some of that. But you will see that some people see the truth and still choose it. They see it for what it is and decide to go along with it. And you are going to sever your ties with any of those people because you're moving away from this. It's keeping you stagnant. You are no longer ignorant. You are enlightened now. Or you are just more enlightened than the people around you. And you have to say, I figured out something that you haven't figured out yet. And I'm not going to indulge your delusions anymore. And I need to kind of save myself here. So if this is a brand new of you kind of losing your faith, remember, this is not a severing of your connection to God or your higher power. It's a severing of the connection to those that put their name on it, that put their stamp on it, and it has nothing to do with it. You do not need them. They need you. The cult of the United States of America, you know, the cult of... This is interesting. I made these little cards the other day. Actually coming in handy. I must break you. The devil can cite scripture for his purpose. Shakespeare, Merchant of Venice. Ain't that the truth? There is beautiful truth in scripture. In all of it. In every religion there is beautiful truth. There's like a small percentage. You know, it's like the telephone game. And it's years later, which is why, you know, there are prophets born every generation. All those old prophets that, you know, you were worshiping from the Bible, and they're out there right now. Support them. Support living people who are making the world a better place. That's how you know. You will know them by their fruits. Are they making the world a better place? Are they bringing light? And are they building bridges? Are they creating powerful, happy, successful, functional societies? Or are they redoing the same old cycle over and over again, like the snake chasing its tail? Maybe it's something that you really used to go hard for, because you're going to have to kind of swallow your pride here and say, I love myself enough to change my mind and move away from this. You feel lonely. Okay, if this, let's say, this is like Scientology or something. And you used to be like, I'm all about this. This is for me. This is for me. Well, it might take you to kind of swallow your pride and say, okay, I wasn't right about that. And the cult will try and pull you back. You know, it'll try to make you feel wrong. It'll try to make you feel small. But you feel lonely and isolated there. That's a clue. And it's just a manipulated situation. You can feel that people are kind of in this echo chamber with themselves. And it doesn't get anywhere. And people aren't empowered. And they're not the best they can be. And they're taught to trust somebody else's opinion. And they're taught not to make their own decisions. And that doesn't work for you. Right? That doesn't work for you. That works for them, okay. I mean, it doesn't, but they might think it does. But It's the kind of thing where it's going to break them down and build them back up so that they can control them. You know, it's like the military, and the military absolutely can be a cult. It provides something. It love bombs at the beginning. It looks beautiful. You know, the devil always looks like beauty and abundance and promises of the world. Promise you the world and never deliver. And never deliver. A clue is that you felt lethargic, stagnant. It's like people go to church and come home exhausted. It's like you've been sitting there for an hour. Why are you exhausted? It's because your energy is being siphoned from you. Anything that church provides, which is like why people love it, community, you can do that without it, without the incorrect spiritual teachings. You can create bonds between, and with the military, men need each other. Men need those bonds of friendship and closeness, and it's taken away from them and then given back to them only in the form of these cults, the military. Or, you know, these Masonic religions that lie to them about, you know, who they are and what their potential is and what heaven is like and what it all means. It's incorrect spiritual teaching. Therefore, you shouldn't be a part of it. It's holding you back. You know that. So, something about the waterfall here. There's going to be hold on. What's that? What's that? Hold on. I don't like that. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Things are about to get really rocky with the economy. The economy is about to crash like a waterfall going off a cliff. And it's not going to be slow, it's going to happen fast. And it's going to be chaos here. Being a part of this group, they're only going to perpetuate that chaos. They're only going to play into it. It's going to be like the preacher who's a doomsday. We're all going to hell. This is the end of the world. Apocalypse, woo! No. Stay away from that. Stay away from the cult of the apocalypse. Stay away from the cult of, what do you call it when you stockpile you stockpile a million guns? Or don't be a part of any militias. Don't be a part of any radicalized groups of thinking. Even if they have a few things right, you're asked to separate yourself from that now officially. Get your name off the roster, okay? Because there's about to be some chaos that happens here for a little bit. And you having an association with this group or this person or this cult, whatever, maybe you work for them, maybe you work for Disney or something, I don't know. If you are an intuitive person, and I think you are, you need to follow your intuition with this. Even if you're like, yeah, I'm not in the cult of Disney, but I work for them, and your intuition is like, get out. Get out, bitch. Get out, get out. Planet of the Apes, it says. You're about to see, if you haven't already, a really ugly side of some of the people that are supposedly holy, that supposedly have all the answers. Let go where you are overly attached to any part of that, and justice will be done for you. You will never get the support you need from this. You will never get the support you need from these people. Don't put all of your faith in America. Don't put all of your faith in K-pop. Don't put all of your faith in the military. Don't put all of your faith in the Catholic Church or any of the other old vampire cults that like to pretend like there's something else. The ones at the top reap all the benefits. The ones at the bottom are the good people. Anything that's good about religion is because people are good. People are mostly good. But they beat it into your head that you're evil and people are evil and so many people have been driven mad by religion who might have otherwise been like totally functional, nice people. So you're going to see something like that, that is just like the nail in the coffin. But it's the cherry on top of you finally choosing your own way of seeing religion. We're supposed to all have our own religion based on our own spirituality, based on our own experience, okay? So everyone parroting what some old book says is not helpful. It does not create a functional society. It teaches you to destroy yourselves like those societies or cultures destroyed themselves. Let's not do that. If other people are doing that, you're stepping aside, removing yourself, and saying, I can't have any part of this. Because there's about to be something pretty gnarly that happens either to this group, to this community, or to this family. If they're like hardcore nar, we're gonna kill you if you don't agree, like some of the fucking Muslims. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. No. You don't want to have any part of that. Don't make excuses for people like that. Don't make excuses for pain and misery. Don't make excuses for abuse and genocide. And that's what you do when you're a part of these. You have any idea what kind of karma comes from voting to take away women's rights or rights for others? That's millions of years of karmas and hard lessons. That's incorrect teaching. You don't get to decide for someone else what they believe. You don't get to force your child into a cult and hold them to the fire. You don't get to do that. You don't get to baptize people who were dead. You don't get to brainwash each other and tattletale on each other and call that spirituality. You have no passion for this. It's time to really stop making excuses. Well, they built me up. I wouldn't be who I am without. No. You would have been more than who you are. This held you back. This is crazy. I didn't even... Okay. What not to do here is like... Theology is an attempt to explain a subject by men who do not understand it. The intent is not to tell the truth, but to satisfy the questioner. You want to be spiritual? You want to be in a true church? Go to nature. Go sit by the water. There's more spirituality there than any church. Look at the symbology in some of the things like the Vatican. Are you kidding me? That ain't God. It never was and it never will be. And you might not be able to choose the right thing for everyone in the world or your family or your friends, but you can certainly choose it for yourself. Follow your intuition this week. And if you're not sure, something will happen this week that will give you all the clarity that you needed. Okay? So trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust your intuition. Keep prayed up. Keep connected to your higher power. Don't lose that. You don't have to walk away from that because you walked away from this church or this group. Like if you're into K-pop, you don't have to walk away from being a creative genius and someone who brings love and joy to the world. You just have to walk away from that particular group or corporation or something. Do you see what I mean? Yeah, it's the devil. It's chains. So sever those cords if you need to. Get your name taken off if you can, or if you have to, or if that's part of the process. Or just exclaim to the world, Hold on. Okay. So just know, I was like, there's something I need to warn you about. It's going to fight back. It's not going to want to let you go, this thing. Or these people. It got really used to sucking you dry. From tithing, from energy, from, it's like these people, these churches, like I grew up in a cult that tells you that women have no power, that men have all the power, and women need to be subservient. Yet women are running the church. They're literally running the whole church and kind of organizing everything and making everything work. And then there's these guys that sit up on top and they have their little talks sometimes. No, some of those men are really amazing. Like, they really do a lot of good works, but they're being taught incorrect spiritual teachings, and that's not okay. Anything that's good about that, they could do that. All those really amazing people, like they call them the bishop, and these guys that are not super high up, they volunteer their time. The ones that are higher up, oh yeah, they have cushy lives and cushy houses, and they get paid for it. The ones that are kind of lower down, that haven't accepted to play that role when they know it's wrong, those are really good people, and they keep the world going. But they could do that without these incorrect spiritual teachings and do so much more and be so much greater. And don't go back and forth. Don't waffle. You need to make kind of a final decision and stick with it and let it go. If you stay, there's only more heartbreak and destabilization of everything you've worked so hard for. So what to do about the resistance that's going to come? With the waterfall, it's letting it go. Oh, wow, yeah. A hunting we will go with the star. This is healing for you. This is freedom for you. This whole thing was kind of a part of the dark night of your soul, and you're escaping it, and you're moving forward away from it towards light and healing and grace and joy. Like I said, it's going to fight you the whole way. It's not going to be honest. It's going to love bomb you. It's going to look like everything beautiful and wonderful and sparkly and all that glitters is not gold. And the Tao that can be spoken of is not the Tao. So, oh, did it just end? I'll leave it there. It may seem scary at first, but it's beautiful. Nothing can take away your connection to your higher power. And in fact, you're going to see it just absolutely blossom. And that's what's fair, and that's what you deserve. And if you're feeling unsupported by something that was so supportive at first, that's a clue. Time to let it go. You're older and wiser now, and you see it for what it is. And those that don't, well, you can't really dwell in their realm because you don't belong there anymore. Love you guys. Bye-bye.